Assalamu alaikum. This is how to solve the activities 1.2.9 to 1.213 on LMS. So after you go to the activities and click on this activity, this window will appear and it will ask you to download the file. It's a little bit slow, but when it opens, you will have to download this file and work on it. Firstly, you have to put your information, student ID, student name, so on. And then go to the following questions, starting with 1.2.9. This question is asking you to use Tinkercad to solve the questions. And this is the question. Write a code to compare three numbers. The code should check whether the first number is less than the second or third numbers, and then display the comparison result on the serial monitor. Afterwards, you have to share the link and put it here, and also take a screenshot of the program or the software or the code that you made and put it here. So let's start with understanding the question. Write a code to compare three numbers. So this question is asking you to compare three different numbers, and the code should check whether if first number is less than the second number or the third number. That means we have at least four variables. Let's go to Tinkercad, and once you log in, you go to circuit, create a new circuit, and in order to put the code, first you have to add Arduino board. So you drag and drop, then go to code, select text, click on continue, and delete everything here. Now, as we said, we have at least four variables. The first three will be the numbers. Let's say num1, for example. Let's make it capital. Num1, num2, and num3. Now, these three numbers has to be declared in terms of what type they are. We'll go with integers, and for the three of them, but we can use float as well. So let's say they are integer, three of them. And after you define the type, you have to give them values. Let's say this one is, for example, 8. Don't forget the semicolon at the end. This one equals, let's say 5, and this one maybe 7. And you can, of course, change them anytime. The fourth variable will be the result, which will be taking only two values, true or false. It will be a type of Boolean, and we'll just give it a name, result. And we could give it an initial value, let's say false, but we don't have to. Now, as we know, always we have to have two functions in any Arduino code. The first one is void setup. The second one is the void loop, and they have to be here always, even if we don't even use them. Now, since we want to do the code or the comparison for one time, we have to put it in the void setup. Otherwise, we put it in the void loop. So let's go back to the question again. It asks you to compare the three numbers and find whether the first number is less than the second or third number. There are a couple of ways, but let's start with if statement, and then we put the conditions inside these two brackets. So if num1, and let's put it also in another bracket, num1 less than num2, or this is the simple for or and we put another, like two brackets to put the other condition. Num1 is less than num3. So the conditions are num1 is less than number 2, or num1 is less than number 3. Then what? We use the curly brackets to put the result. The result in this case should be true. And notice how the color changes when you put 2, because this is a Boolean value. Now, what if this is not the case? What if it's not less than number 2 or even number 3? Then in this case, else result is equal to false. So if these conditions, or at least one of them, because we have or, is true, then the result will be true. Otherwise, if both of them, not this one and not this one, is true, the result will be false. And finally, we need to know what is the result. That's why we have to use serial.print, and we want to print the result, so we type it in. But before we forget, we have to add serial.begin in order to initialize the communication. Let's try it. Since we don't have any errors, the code runs, and if we click on serial monitor, we get 0. 0 means false. And why false? Because number 1, which equals to 8, is not less than number 2, which is 5, or less than number 3, which is 7. So both of them are not valid. That's why we got this case false, which is presented as 0. But let's change this one. Let's say number 3. Let's make it 12 and clear the serial monitor, and we run it again. We'll get 1. 1 because 8, although 8 is not less than 5, but 8 is less than 12. That's why we get the result to be true. And this is the first question, which is 1.2.9.